Star Wars sequels are fire, and if you say otherwise, you just hate Star Wars. I know a lot of you already clicked away or already put some hate in the comments because, bro, Star Wars fans are toxic as hell. And I'm convinced you guys just hate Star Wars. Because if you hate even The Force Awakens, if you hate that, how do you like any Star Wars? Because you're going to be like, oh, the original trilogy is so much better. The Force Awakens is literally the exact same movie as A New Hope. They have a character who is on a desert planet, very unknown origins of the character, unknown origins of the planet, and it's literally the middle of nowhere. And then they find out that they're a Jedi. They have to go on a journey. They get the exact same fucking lightsaber that was passed down to them. They learn about the prophecy of the light side, the dark side, all that. They learn about the evil villain, and then they go with their mentor, the old guy who teaches them, who found them and mentored them. And then on the Millennium Falcon, they go to the planet that is made a weapon, and it's a mass destruction planet, and then they blow it up, but in doing so, the mentor dies in front of them, and then that's the movie. That's both movies, bro. I don't understand why people hate it. It was a good movie. It was literally just the exact same thing as A New Hope, but with a new cast. I liked it, bro. And then The Last Jedi, I hated it at first. I can't lie. But after watching it, again, recently, I loved it, bro. It was a really good movie. And the biggest plot point people say is it killed Luke's character. No, it did not. It did not kill Luke's character. And this is why. Because he literally is the exact same Luke that saw himself as Darth Vader. If you literally seen yourself as the villain that you were trying to defeat, would you not become a little crazy eventually? That would give you PSD, bro. PSD? The fucking underwear? They'll give you PTSD, bro. You get PTSD from that shit, bro. There's no way you wouldn't. And this is also the exact same Luke that had to defeat his own father and the Emperor, and his father was trying to get him to join him. And his father literally died in his arms. The Dark Lord. He found out he was the son of the Dark Lord. How does it not make any sense for him to try and stop that shit from happening again? And if you say, oh, it ruined his character from Legends. Bro, his character from Legends, if he did that shit in Legends, I'm not fully up to date on my Legends because I just finished Heir to the Empire. I'm reading this one right now. If you don't believe me, I'm on chapter 4. This is where I'm at. This is where my bookmark was at. I read Legends all the time, bro. This is my stack of books that I'm currently reading. I'm reading this comic. I actually made a video on that one. Some Dr. Aphra. I know that's canon, but this is not canon. This is a bunch of just non-canon Legends, Boba Fett books. I love Boba Fett. And this one, this is canon. This is what happens to Chewie and Han after episode 6. Yeah, I got tons of books, canon, non-canon. I don't care, bro. Everything's canon to me. I love Star Wars. But this is why Luke's character in Legends was not ruined by canon. Because in Legends, he literally learns the Sith arts. How do you think he made his lightsaber? Just take a guess. If you don't know, don't ruin it. But I mean, I don't really care. Comments are comments. You can comment whatever the fuck you want. But if you don't know, just take a guess. All right, lock in your answer. He literally made it from a Sith technique, and it's a artificial crystal, like the green one. Because when he was making the green saber, he couldn't find the actual kyber crystal. And this is in Legends only, not in canon. But he literally used an ancient forbidden Sith technique. How is that not what did I just say? How is that not showing that eventually he would try and stop a new Sith threat from happening, bro? This Luke is not a Jedi. Well, he is a Jedi, but he's not a peak Jedi. Luke is honestly a shitty Jedi because he doesn't follow the rules of the old Jedi. his whole character is, nah, I'm gonna do it my own way. He mixes both, like, religions, basically, the Sith and the Jedi religions. He mixes both of them. That's his whole character. And the entire, like, thing that he was trying to do with his new Jedi Order, he was trying to teach them that there isn't just one way. There, like, you don't have to just go to the dark side or the light side. You could use both. It's both the Force. The Force is a spectrum of shit that you could do, and you could use shit from both sides without being corrupted by either. So obviously, naturally, the same Luke who has PTSD from seeing himself as his father, who he didn't know was his father at the time, from seeing himself as a villain. Actually, I think he might have known that was his father. I don't know, the timeline shit is messed up. I'm gonna rewatch the movies literally after making this video. That's how much I love Star Wars. But anyways, the same Luke that found out the Dark Lord is his father, had to defeat his father and the other Dark Lord, was also getting almost turned to the dark side by his father and the Dark Lord. He also literally fucking used Force lightning. He also saw himself as the Dark Lord. How would all that not give him PTSD, bro? And then in canon, so far, what we have seen him do, we haven't seen him do as much, but it's going to explain it a lot more, bro. I'm telling you, like, with the more that builds on, The Last Jedi will not be hated on. It did not massacre Luke's character. The more that we get, like, the more books, shows, just comics, just everything, the more shit we get explaining why he did that, it'll make sense. And you literally see he had a moment of hesitation. He was not trying to kill Kylo. Like, he was. But he wasn't trying to, like, he wasn't going to. He stopped. He literally was about to shut off his blade. But Kylo woke up and he had to fight him. And if you read comics, this is a canon comic. Kylo was literally under the influence of Snoke at this point. So, this is my theory. This is not canon. This is just my theory. My theory is, I don't know if they've made it canon yet, but if you see, like, in The Mandalorian and everything, there's, like, alright, The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, and literally the fucking Clone Wars. So I don't know why people are trying to say this shit came out of nowhere. Snoke is a clone, a failed clone of Palpatine. And you could see in the Clone Wars, this is when they started Project Necromancer, because remember, all those Jedi children were being kidnapped. And then in the Bad Batch, we see that tons of children were being tested on and they couldn't get somebody with a midichlorian count because they got fucking taken back by the Jedi, and then all the rest of the Jedi got murdered. And then in The Mandalorian, we see that Moff Gideon is still trying to bring back Project Necromancer because Palpatine didn't just come back out of nowhere. He's been trying to do this literally his entire life, because he literally said also in episode 3, there is, like, he was telling Anakin, you could basically be immortal. You just gotta do some, like, ancient shit, Sith, what am I saying? You just gotta do some ancient Sith techniques in order to be immortal. And that's what Project Necromancer is. You can clone yourself. It's just a hard, long process that Palpatine is trying to learn. And that's why he was all decayed and shit, because he never actually got the good body. Because Snoke was the failed body. He never finalized it because they destroyed Project Necromancer before it actually took off in the Bad Batch. And then again in The Mandalorian. So he never fully made it. And he was just stuck in the decaying body that he hopped to immediately after dying. Think about Rick and Morty. How whenever Rick dies, he just wakes up in a different body in a different universe. That's the same logic, but no multiverse bullshit. Whenever Palpatine dies, he wakes up in a different, like, backup clone body. He didn't have a new one. And this is my theory too. Remember when he's trying to get Rey to kill him? I think he was trying to get Rey to kill him so he could take over Rey's body. Because he also said, I forgot when he said it, but he said some shit like he could take over people's bodies. I forgot where it was. I don't know if it's Legends or canon. Everything's the same for me because I literally just read them all. I don't even, like, look at the label. I just see, oh, Star Wars. Let me read it. Let me watch it. Let me view it. I just love Star Wars, bro. But anyways, Yeah, that's it on the Project Necromancer shit. Didn't come out of nowhere, so I don't know why people are hating on that plot. Especially if you read Legends, bro. There's been cloning for so long, bro. Literally, one of the first lines in A New Hope is the Clone Wars. Yeah, like that gets explained. But then the first villain, like big villain we get in Legends, is Thrawn and Jarrus Kaboth. And he's a fucking clone. And you know what else happens? I mean, obviously, you could see I'm only on the second book, and I'm only on chapter 4. So I don't know if he comes into play in this book, but I know at least in the last book, in the last command, there's Luke, like Luuk, Luke. He's a clone of Luke. So I'm tired of this cloning shit being like some random shit that like people act like it never happened in Star Wars before uh Rise of Skywalker. But I mean, I'm not saying the movies couldn't have been better. They definitely could have been better. But they just weren't terrible, bro. They're good movies. I like them. I enjoy them. They're Star Wars. I love Star Wars. And the reality is, they're not going to remake them, bro. As much as we ask, as much as we beg, they're not going to remake them. So either you hate them or you love them. And I love them, bro, because it's Star Wars. Eventually, you're going to love them too, hopefully. Unless you just hate everything. Unless you just don't like Star Wars at all. Then I don't know. Because I realized that one day, bro. I realized, damn, I just don't fucking like Star Wars. And then I read more, watched more, played more, and I fucking love Star Wars, bro. It's a good, amazing, beautiful universe, bro. I love that shit. Peak. All right, I think I covered all the plots and shit. Yeah, the sequels are fire, bro. I like them. There's not really anything too crazy about them. The only things I do hate, I'll name, well, not the only things, but I'll name a couple things I hate real quick, just so you don't think I'm just dick riding. Fucking hate Rose. I actually fucking hate Rose. Worst character to ever exist. Um, I do feel like the Necromancer Palpatine shit was kind of rushed, but that's just because they're explaining it now. And I hate when people are like, "Oh, you're only gonna say it's good because they made all this new content to explain it." All right, bro. So in the original trilogy, when they talked about the Clone Wars, when they talked about Luke being Vader's son, when they talked about Leia also being his sister, when they talked about like Wookiees and Kashyyyk and all that, when they talked about the Clone Wars, I think I already said that, but the Jedi Order, the Sith actually didn't even exist. They did exist in rough drafts, but to the public, it did not exist. And if you go back and read Legends content pre Phantom Menace, it never once mentions the word Sith. It calls them Dark Jedi because Sith didn't exist. They just didn't exist. They did in George Lucas's head because he had them in rough drafts of the scripts and shit, but it was never a canon thing until the Phantom Menace, and Legends was canon at some point. So I mean, take it how you will, but yeah, I fuck with the sequels. If you don't fuck with the sequels, you're just a hater. All right, see ya.